Okay, everybody, welcome back. And this is your host, Jake Lon, and this is Anime Talks. It's been a little bit since our last episode, but I'm really excited to drop this one. This one is a little bit different. I almost say this in like every one of our episodes now, just because I'm watching a lot of different things, and I would like to express that this one, off the top, really different than my usual go-to. It was a very interesting like recommendation given to me by a coworker, and it is really interesting. As something to say, a big note to it is definitely a side anime. Definitely don't watch this as your main one, because if you do, it's going to be one of those, unless you're like into that genre, then maybe so. But until I get to covering it, you can make your decision after the review. So let's get straight down to it. So in this episode, we'll be covering Rent a Girlfriend. And for those that know, I cover a lot of different like action, adventure, supernatural, thriller type animes lately. And this one's just a little bit, out of the way, a little different, and puts us in the back seat of the life of Kazu. And his name is like actually Kazuya, but we're gonna go by his nickname Kazu. And this anime is completely different. I won't be doing a season by season coverage because of the layout of how this anime is put together. It's just a little bit different. It's one of those animes that you just sit there and it's almost a rinse and repeat season by season, just with like a little bit of a twist that throws it all off. And it's worth noting that you just kind of, you just hang out with it. Really, it's not really anything to dig too deep on, but just the elements of surprise that's in it is pretty good. So we're going to start off with our main character, Kazu. He's really a lame guy. He really is. Sad to say that, but he's pretty lame. And he spends all 4 seasons that we have right now in a weird predicament. And it's so interesting. But either way, he's a college kid who, for some odd reason, can't net him a girlfriend after a recent breakup he's had. And while he's trying to get over his breakup from his girlfriend, who is a very important character, her name is Mommy. I'll go ahead and put that out there just for good references for wherever we get further into this review. Kazu is really just one of those people who, for some odd reason, can't get it together. And I have to say I can kind of agree with them. It is kind of hard to date. It's kind of very out there, very abstract, especially if you're starting fresh and trying to get things kicking off. It's one of those kind of situations. And he handles it pretty interesting. So he's like fiddling on the interwebs, and he finds a Rent a Girlfriend, like not in like connected to in real life. It's almost as if he has what would that be connected to, like an escorting system, but not on the sexual side of things, which is pretty interesting. So you rent a girlfriend who goes out and give you a girlfriend experience, and he rents one, and on that same renting evening, everything goes haywire, where the fates of 2 people are intertwined. And he ends up meeting up with his rented girlfriend, Mizuhara, and she is stunning, like almost the perfect girlfriend you want. And I know I'm speaking about an anime, but this girl is very dazzling, very stunning, and she's putting up a good girlfriend experience. She's really nice, humble, sweet, and of course, this show, of course, you're going to catch the elements. It has its element of charm. It has really good comedy, and it keeps everything rolling. And I really enjoy that part of it. It keeps the it keeps it alive. And that's what's going to make you ponder through 4 seasons. So with that being said, you really have to get a good grasp of that relationship that they have, where it's a rented girlfriend and a client, and it gets deeper and deeper and deeper. Is really, really interesting because their connection is almost, he's trying to get connected. He's like Kazu's super excited, and then he realizes that she's only a rented girlfriend, and it may just be an act. And that is where our story really takes off, where after their date, a bunch of things end up going crazy, where Kazu's grandmother is in the hospital. They race there, and sadly this happens on the date as well. So Mizuhara follows behind Kazu because she still has time that she owes him. So she's following him to make sure that she doesn't jip him out of the time mode. And then this is where the story really takes place. And the premise of our whole show here is we have Kazu's grandmother seeing him with a girl, and she's like, just, oh, I can't believe that you have a girlfriend. You're lame. And then they're brutal with him. Like, all of Kazu's family members are like super brutal to him. And then the rented girlfriend thing goes one step further. By now, the grandmother wants to see Mizuhara more often. And this is where the lies start to begin, because now a one-time renting of a girlfriend has now turned into a plot of multiple rentings. And then it gets one step further. Mizuhara's grandmother is in the same hospital, and Mizuhara's grandmother and Kazu's grandmother are best friends. It gets crazy and crazy as like the plot thickens with the just the crazy plot twist and the intertwining connections between everybody. And that is where our story takes place. Is you have a couple who lies and fakes a relationship through a bunch of different trials and tribulations. And with that, you'd have to also include Kazu's friends from college get involved. His parents are involved. His grandmother, Mizuhara's grandmother. And then, of course, there's more people added to the cast a little bit later that are now involved. You have the ex-girlfriend, Kazu's ex-girlfriend, Mommy, who gets totally involved in a very vindictive kind of way, and is sort of scary on how she handles all this when she finds out about the whole rented girlfriend thing. And then you also have another little insert where you have this shy little girl who's trying to break out of her shell and use being a rented girlfriend as a way to get better socialization. And she reaches out to Mizuhara. Mizuhara links her up with Kazu to help her break out her shell, and she has a small role in it as well. But it comes and goes. She really played like a big part into, I guess you could say, late season 2, early season 3. But that little girl there just had such a small role. But then we meet the Ruka, who's like very, 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 I mean, it's an anime. Like, they made all the women look good in the anime. So Ruka, the very stunning young lady herself. And what ends up happening with Ruka is the rented girlfriend of one of Kazu's friends, but Ruka has a whole different thing going on where she uses a heartbeat monitor or a pulse monitor to a heart rate monitor. There we go. A heart rate monitor to check her heart rate whenever she's around certain men to see if they are the one for her, because she's just been looking for her soulmate. And she uses these statistics of having a heart rate of over 80, whatever her number is. I can't recall as of now, but she uses that as her method of saying that this is how she feels about said person. And that is really, really it's interesting. It's different. It breaks it down to where you're just like, gosh, that's different. That's like that's a cool way of checking. Hey, like I like you, but it's I guess that means that she's been on a bunch of rented dates and or experienced dating and just never felt that special about somebody until she met Kazu, and then Kazu's forced into a relationship with her. I would like to say around season 2-ish, where he's forced into this this trial run of dating, and then she becomes an obstacle. And of course, as the cliche story goes with these kind of animes, yes, we do have Kazu and Mizuhara, who are indeed falling in love with each other through different ways. They're expressing their likes for each other. And of course, Kazu's a very awkward, like dumb, lame guy. So yeah, he's a little socially awkward. He doesn't know how to handle any type of real female interaction that seems intimate. He bugs out and spazzes out and all that. And Mizuhara, which was crazy, she's almost in the same background and same fielding as him. But the sad part about it is she is just like there, like she's not trying to look for nothing, but if it happens, it happens. But it's not really with him because she understands the client agreement type deal and doesn't let anything get to heart until a lot of things change with the plot. There's a lot of different mishaps that come up, and then a lot of different journeys, a lot of different things they're aiming for. And then we were also met with another girl. I'm telling you, Kazu has a harem that started up, but the last girl that teams up, as far as like the story goes, before we end with season 4, we do have another girl who is like big on WeTube, which is their version of YouTube, which is pretty interesting. I like how shows do that, but they have WeTube going on, where that's where you get everything together, you make it happen, and it is amazing. Is amazing. I like how she's like the little sister, the background little sister, who's trying to like push things to where they can understand to stop being dumb and just ask each other out and be together already. So she's like the hype girl in the back. I really do like her. She plays a very interesting role in some parts. I would like to say she kind of comes in, I want to say, another late season 2, early season 3 area, and she pops up and does a lot of different things, gets involved. And of course, this show does have a lot of very interesting themes, so it's very funny, something to catch into. And for the adults out there that are checking this out, please don't let your children watch this. There's a lot of different elements in it that I really don't think is safe for children. A lot of suggestive themes. I kept my daughter away from watching it just because it's a little much with what they say, and I mean, more than that, of what they do and how far it is. It's definitely a more mature show, so just take note of that. I would have to really put this anime like it's good for what it is. It's like a little rom-com that is really, really enjoyable. I really do like it. I would have to say, if I was to point out a negative, I'll point out two negatives. Two negatives that they do have the most, and I never sat down on Reddit or any of the above to read this, but our main character Kazu is such the dragging out the written portion for Kazu over 4 seasons. The growth of him getting closer to Mizuhara is great, but it stunts. It almost feels like it's 1 step forward, 5 steps backward. And I get it. It's what they pictured and they put it together is like it's he's almost like a simp that doesn't know how to get it together kind of thing. It's sad. Like they build it up to where he's always chasing and there's always some kind of crazy twist, and I'll give them that. The crazy twist that we see within it is amazing. They do such a good job with putting it together where, as soon as we think something's going to like break and like it's going to break out and boom, well, doom, another plot twist that changes the whole element where there's somebody that's going to threaten exposing the identities. And next thing you know, the grandparents are not going to be happy no more because come to find out their grandchildren have been lying to them. It's a lot of different things that come up, and it's small things, but the suspense is there and they build it up. I really do enjoy it. I like it. I would not say not to watch it. I would definitely say give it a go. Watch it on the side. It's like I said, it's not like a main anime to watch, but where it's at right now, I mean, it's good. They did really interesting with the ending. I mean, there's a lot of different like cliffhangers. I really do. I do enjoy that. There's a lot of cliffhangers that make you want more. But the way they did me for season 4, I'm so not happy because they made me want more. And you know, again, like I said in other animes, when I'm watching something and I'm like I'm locked in, I just don't notice that I'm about to be done until I can look at the corner and there's not a forward arrow. I'm just like, oh, so this is it. I gotta wait. And that's where we're at right now. We're currently waiting on some more of this beautiful show that I do enjoy. Like I said, is a recommendation that I loved so much. It was good. I wouldn't knock it on like really good quality. The world building of it as far as character development is good. I think the only character development that kind of had like the tug and go would have to be Kazu, but like I understand it. You know, I'm not blind to what the author is trying to illustrate with Kazu's status with Mizuhara. It is supposed to be a tug and go or push and pull, tug of war kind of situation. I get it, and they do so well at depicting that it gets kind of annoying. You're just like, come on, man, come on, like help him out. He needs to get somewhere. So I'm hoping season 5, which should be coming around the corner soon, is going to finally put the rest of the pieces together. From what I understand, my source of recommendation has already read up to wherever it's at right now and says that things get a little hairy. So I'm all ready for it right now in season 4. I'd have to say it's probably like one of like the top tier hairiest seasons as far as like suspense and like WTF moments. So definitely check that out. I'm telling you, you won't regret it. Like I said, watch it on the side. It's not worth watching by itself. Like just watch a few episodes here and there. And of course, if it sinks you in, it sinks you in. Of course, and I'm telling you, you're gonna get to like some really messy gossiping points and just be like, ooh, you know, like I want to check this out kind of thing. So it's one of those, and I really enjoyed all of it in total. You know, I had my little nitpicks, but the nitpicks were just because I was just ready. I'm just ready to see what I've been waiting to see kind of thing. It's just like that high end anticipation. You just don't know how far it's going to go. I mean, you could like write almost anything at this point about how things will pan out and end up, right? So again, thank y'all so much. I mean, that I really don't have much to say. If I had to rate this, I'd have to say like comfortably, like almost like a 7.5, 8 out of 10. And it's mainly because like I'm really not a rom-com kind of anime watcher. I feel like 7.5, 8 is pretty high. Because you got to have the world building is really good. The drama is perfect. They do really well. There's a bunch of vindictive people that you're just like, I'd slap them if I could. It's good, you know. Like, and they have everything you need in it as far as just like your typical anime. They have all different the different parts you need for the anime to run and for you to be able to like it and just roll with it. So again, thank y'all so much for tuning in. This is Anime Talks. Is your host Jay Klein, and until we get another one, and we should be rolling into another guest appearance soon. So please be on the lookout for that. And I'm pretty positive it's going to be our Lord of Mysteries episode, which is going to be really big because my recommendation, the person who recommended me for that, they're going to be getting in on this, and that is like the really big because that. It's so explosive. It's going to be a bunch of back and forth and a bunch of questions that you might have through listening to that one. And I hope that everything gets answered in that one because there's going to be some stuff I want to know within that. But as far as But as far as Rent a Girlfriend goes, we're going to be waiting for season 5 to come out. Once season 5 comes out, depending on if they're going to be shutting it off at season 5, then that's when I'll go ahead and like come out with, whatever it is at the time, as a continuation to go with this podcast. So if you have not liked and or followed this channel or this show, please do. It would help greatly. Please leave comments, or whatever that little dialogue, little Dropbox thing is, for you to leave a little something. Let me know how I'm doing. Let me know, what do you want to listen to, and tell me a show that you advise that I can go watch. I would love to check out stuff that the community would like to go through, because we've reached over 1,000 downloads. There's people listening to this. I want to know what the people want. So again, thank you, and I will catch y'all on another one.